When justice is no longer fair, would you dare break the law to protect your family? Welcome to Dragframe, where I tell you thrilling and daunting cinematic stories. Today, we're going to explore a Chinese film that has stirred up the whole of Asia. A murder case with no trace, a father turns into a genius concealing crimes, and a breathtaking battle of wits with the entire legal system. Are you ready to step into the emotional maze with the film? Let's get started. The story takes place in a small town in Thailand. Li Weijie is an ordinary citizen. He works in network services, and has 2 daughters with his wife, eldest daughter Ping Ping, younger daughter Anan. Li Weijie is an honest and simple man, and he gets along well with everyone. Normally, when neighbors are in trouble, he readily lends a helping hand. Seeing police officer Tang Kuan extorting money from Mr. Wong at the diner, he didn't hesitate to tell the victim the truth and how to handle it. It turned out the police chief's son had blinded Mr. Wong's child, and Li Weijie exposed Tang Kuan for trying to pocket the victim's compensation money. Since then, he and Tang Kuan became enemies. Li Weijie has a hobby just like us, which is watching movies, especially detective movies. In his spare time, Li Weijie would go to Uncle Song's diner to watch movies. Therefore, he has a catchphrase, which is, if you've watched over 1,000 movies, you'll find that there's nothing truly strange in this world. And this catchphrase of his is also a key element driving the plot. Li Weijie only finished elementary school, but he cares deeply about his family, especially loving his 2 daughters. But as his eldest daughter, Ping Ping, grew older and entered her rebellious phase, the distance between them grew wider. This troubled Li Weijie greatly. Despite such minor conflicts, they were still a happy family. But this happiness faced a major turn of events. When, due to her outstanding achievements, Ping Ping was selected for a summer camp activity, but it required the family to pay a high fee. Li Weijie initially refused to sign, which also made his daughter very upset. But later, out of love for his daughter, he signed it and secretly left the consent form in his daughter's bedroom. But it was during this very activity that his daughter suffered irreversible harm, also plunged the entire family into a life and death ordeal. During summer camp, Ping Ping was drugged and assaulted by Su Cha, another participant. He even recorded a video. Su Cha is a typical local figure with powerful connections. His mother is Luo Zhang, the chief of police. His father is Mr. Su, a government official running for mayor. Perhaps because Ping Ping knew about Su Cha's background, and furthermore, the incident was difficult to talk about. After returning home, Ping Ping didn't tell her parents about it. She chose to suffer silently alone, until she met Su Cha again, and he used the video to threaten her. Ping Ping felt helpless and scared. Her biggest support was her father, Li Weijie, but he was away on business in Pattaya. In the afternoon, he went to the hotel to fix the network system. He accidentally saw a boxing advertisement flyer in the room, so in the evening, he went to the ATM to withdraw money and bought a ticket from a street vendor. Li Weijie enthusiastically entered the arena and took his seat. Seeing the person next to him buy beer, he was very envious. But after all, watching boxing matches was a considerable expense for him, so he had to restrain himself. The match was extremely exciting. Li Weijie watched it with great interest. Little did he know that at this moment at home, his eldest daughter was in danger. That night, Su Cha came to the warehouse, step by step approaching Ping Ping. At this moment, the light turned on. It was Ping Ping's mother. Seeing the parent, Su Cha was not only unafraid but even more excited, saying he would post the video online. The 3 people wrestled for the phone with the same intensity as the boxing match that Li Weijie was watching. Ping Ping was stunned and watched Su Cha assault her mother with the phone. Instinctively, she grabbed a hoe nearby to destroy the video, and also to protect her mother. She wanted to knock the phone out of Su Cha's hand, but accidentally hit his head. Ping Ping's mother checked and found that he was dead. Ping Ping was scared and wanted to call the police, but her mother stopped her because she knew that doing so was to protect her daughter. At this moment, Li Weijie finished watching the boxing match and called home, but no one answered. Li Weijie called several times in a row, but heard a busy signal. Li Weijie realized something was wrong and immediately got up and ran home. At this time, the mother and Ping Ping were moving Suchet's body. She buried Suchet alone in the graveyard behind the house, and all of this was witnessed by the younger daughter. Li Weijie rushed home that night. His wife recounted the whole incident and wanted to turn herself in for their daughter, but Li Weijie stopped her. The deceased is the son of the police chief. He knew full well that his wife and daughter Ping Ping were the victims. He should have reported it to the police. But the powerful forces behind this would surely get them killed. For his family's safety, Li Weijie began his meticulous plan. Various movie plots flashed through his mind. First, the whole family cleaned up the crime scene. Immediately afterwards, they disposed of Suchet's yellow sports car and phone. While opening the sports car's door, something went wrong. He accidentally triggered the car alarm. And at that exact moment, Songkuan, who was having breakfast, noticed it, but the distance was quite far. He only vaguely sensed it was Li Weijie's figure. After avoiding the surveillance camera at the intersection, Li Weijie drove into the construction site. He turned on the phone, deleted the video of his daughter being assaulted, then carefully wiped off the fingerprints. He casually threw the phone onto a truck, then pushed the sports car into the river. But just then, a shepherd passed by. A sheep in the flock seemed to have spotted Li Weijie. But sheep can't talk. Li Weijie quickly hid. Just as the sports car was submerged, the shepherd turned his head back but saw nothing unusual. Li Weijie's anxious heart could finally relax. After returning home, he reminded his family to act as if nothing had happened, and the whole family took the 2:30 bus to Pattaya for an outing and to watch the Muay Thai match that evening. While in Pattaya, he deliberately left countless traces, whether it was conversations with the bus staff, or interactions with the hotel receptionist, or deliberately spilling a street vendor's popcorn at the Muay Thai venue. Upon returning home that evening, he instructed his wife to keep all their expense receipts. To avoid suspicion, they still had a lot to do. Very soon, Li Weijie also resumed his normal work. Moreover, he also received a big deal from Boss Li to install the network lines for the police station. They went to the new police station construction site for a survey. After going out, Boss Li was kicked to the ground by Tang Kun. Seeing this, Li Weijie stepped forward to help and kicked Sang Kun. He pulled out a pistol and pointed it at Li Weijie. After a gunshot rang out, a sheep next to Li Weijie was shot dead. The captain pulled Tang Kun, who was raging, away. In other developments, after not seeing her son for days, Mother Luo was extremely worried. She mobilized the entire police force to search for Su Cha. As a result, Su Cha's sports car was found in the river. Fortunately, there were no bodies in the car. When Tang Kun saw the picture of the yellow sports car, he immediately reported that Li Weijie was driving the sports car to the captain. Because Tang Kun always had a grudge against Li Weijie, and the captain knew Li Weijie's personality well, he didn't believe Tang Kun. Not giving up, Tang Kun takes the captain to find the breakfast stall owner to verify, but the owner claims he saw nothing. Meanwhile, Li Weijie realizes the police investigation will surely reach them, so he begins rehearsing an interrogation with his family. Li Weijie knows well this will be a tough struggle. The challenges they face are also unprecedented. Just one small mistake, and all their efforts will be wasted. Before long, the police discover that in the training camp Suchet attended a week before he disappeared, there were two girls living in Shanthaburi town, where he vanished. One of them is Ping Ping, Li Weijie's daughter. Tang Kun and the captain go to the school to question Ping Ping. Although Tang Kun's attitude is terrible, Li Weijie had already prepared her. Ping Ping considered everything carefully. So Ping Ping dealt with it calmly, leaving no loopholes. The police found nothing, so they went to Li Weijie's house to investigate. The cunning Tang Kun set a trap for her, causing the wife to panic and slip up. Tang Kun hadn't mentioned the time at all, yet Li Weijie's wife quickly spoke up. Revealing his itinerary during the time of the incident, Li Weijie calmly provided an answer, saying that Ping Ping had told them, because the police had previously gone to the school to question Ping Ping. But Tang Kun still wouldn't let it go. Li Weijie had no choice but to present consumption bills from April 2nd to April 3rd. Even though they escaped the interrogation, Luo Zhang is not someone to be trifled with. She is a police chief who has solved countless cases. She also has her catchphrase, study 1,000 cases thoroughly, and you'll find that there are no truly bizarre cases in this world. Therefore, the entire Li Weijie family was taken to the police station for questioning. At the same time, their house was also thoroughly searched, but no clues were found. He can only place his hopes on the interrogation. Predictably, the family had rehearsed beforehand and coordinated perfectly. Even the little daughter, when faced with harsh questioning, didn't reveal any slip-ups. This made Luo Zhang very disappointed. At the same time, the public outside, because the police arrested Li Weijie's whole family for no reason, demanded that the police release them quickly. Under public pressure, the police had to release Li Weijie's whole family. Ms. Luo noticed that the last image of her son's sports car disappearing, her son's phone call, and the location Tang Kun saw the sports car, all appeared in Chonban town. So there must be something wrong with Li Weijie's family. Soon after, the police went around finding everyone who had contact with Li Weijie. As expected, everyone remembered details related to Li Weijie. At the same time, they also provided a solid alibi for his family, proving that when they watched the boxing match, Li Weijie had accidentally spilled the street vendor's popcorn. To make up for it, he bought some cans of beer and food. But because he didn't have enough money, Li Weijie even went out to withdraw cash. This gave the grieving Luo Zhang a glimmer of hope. But according to the video, Li Weijie did indeed withdraw money from the ATM. Also, extracting other footage confirms Li Weijie's family was indeed in Latong. But Luo Zhang did not give up the investigation because of this. She checked Li Weijie's history of watching 838 movies in 1 year. She found the crux of the matter. It was a South Korean movie called Montage. Li Weijie used the montage principle from filmmaking, fragmenting his actions, then editing them together like a movie. But Luo Zheng knew. Even if her deduction was correct, Li Weijie could still rely on witness testimonies, and the chain of evidence from the surveillance video, to defend themselves. There is no concrete evidence. It's very difficult to convict them, but very soon after, a turning point occurred. Su Chat's mother returned from elsewhere. She learned what Su Chat had done to Li Weijie's daughter. After watching the video, she didn't say a single word, but in the office, a group of very perceptive police officers told Su Chat's mother, this matter must not get out, and also, delete the video quickly. After she trembled and shed tears, it wasn't out of remorse for her son's wrongdoing, but rather, her attitude completely changed. Stumped by Li Weijie's alibi, the police arrested his entire family again. But this was also anticipated by Li Weijie. Actually, Li Weijie had prepared very thoroughly, but he underestimated how ruthless La Jeanne was. She even dared to show Ping Ping the assault video in front of everyone. The Moder Schilder Docteur, confronting the fierce Lazen. Driven to desperation, La Jeanne ordered her subordinates to beat and interrogate Li Weijie, hoping to make his youngest daughter confess. And Anne's psyche was weighed down by La Jeanne's imposing figure looming over her small form. Finally, the little daughter told the truth. La had thought the case would finally be solved, both avenging her son and reducing the negative impact the investigation had on her husband's election campaign. Little did she know she'd be blindsided by Li Weijie's next move. The police went to the burial ground behind Li Weijie's house. Shortly after, Suchit's father also arrived at the scene. By this time, many onlookers and reporters had gathered around. The crowd erupted in angry complaints about the police digging up and desecrating the burial ground. But Sang Kun beat the people who stood up to resist. After searching, they discovered a suspicious grave. The police ignored the people's condemnation. Dig up the grave, carry the coffin out. When they opened the bag, it wasn't Su Sa's body, but the sheep that Sang Kun had shot dead. This made Luo and his wife incredulous. The crowd watching finally erupted. The chaotic scene made Luo Zhen overlook why the sheep appeared, and those blood-red scratch marks on the coffin lid. This event caused a long-lasting riot. Some residents took it as an excuse to vent their anger on the ruling class. In the end, Police Chief Luo, because of enforcing violence and digging up graves, which caused strong dissatisfaction among the local people, was forced to resign for abuse of power. Her husband's dream of becoming mayor was also shattered. It seems that the Li Weijie family escaped this calamity, except for the youngest daughter, Anan. The others didn't smile at all. Perhaps it's because they escaped the punishment of crime, but they didn't escape the gnawing of conscience. The wife on the balcony asked Li Weijie why he didn't tell her the truth about moving the corpse. Li Weijie uttered a meaningful sentence. Finally, amidst the repentance bells at the foot of the Buddha Tower, Li Weijie told Luo Jing and Mr. Su Zetrus. Actually, Su Cha wasn't dead at that time. The lack of breath was because his tongue was swallowed. At the same time, this also matches Li Weijie's explanation of the tongue-swallowing phenomenon of boxers in boxing matches. From the scratches on the coffin lid, it can be seen that Su Cha died of suffocation. So where was Su Cha's body moved to? Remember earlier when Li Weijie ran the network cables for the new police station? While inspecting the scene, he stared at the big hole in the ground for a long time. That's also exactly where Suchit's body was buried. This is also why, in later reports, the location of Suchit's body was not disclosed. Ultimately, Li Weijie chose to turn himself in. Li Weijie, who had overcome so much turmoil. Why did he suddenly decide to turn himself in? Firstly, regarding Suchit struggling for his life inside the coffin, and knowing he didn't save him, as an ordinary person, Li Weijie was deeply tormented inside. The most direct sign was during the second roadside offering, when the monk didn't accept the alms, his complicated and discreet expression. And when his youngest daughter used her fork to scribble on the table, Li Weijie stopped his daughter in time. Second, when the police investigated Li Weijie's background, there was a detail, saying that Li Weijie was orphaned at an early age and his parents died in a riot. After the incident of Li Weijie's family, there was a major riot in the city. The male lead probably understands the serious consequences of riots better than ordinary people. Finally, in the scene of confronting the Luos at the Repentance Pagoda, we can see the struggle and pain in his heart. And the most important element lies in the details of the conversation on the balcony. After successfully deceiving everyone, this forgery skill showed up in his young daughter, Anan. It was that 100-point incident. The daughter changed her 70 score to 100. If the child isn't taught, it's the father's fault. This father, who didn't even finish elementary school, understood this principle well. His actions saved the whole family but distorted the children's sense of right and wrong. He had to use his actions to correct those values. As the pillar of the family, he once again stood before them, shouldering all responsibility. This was also what he wanted to teach his children, the value of honesty and justice. Honestly speaking, as a viewer, I really don't want such a good father to go to prison. But it's after he turned himself in, and then his wife and daughter also surrendered, that this briefly told detail shows how great this couple is. In the end, the film not only keeps the audience in suspense with thrilling intellectual battles, but also leaves a burning question in their hearts. When justice is no longer on the side of what is right, is family love big enough to overcome everything? Li Weijie is not a hero, nor is he a cold-blooded criminal. He is just a father willing to do anything to protect his daughter. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video.